I've been programming for 10 years, and I'm betting my entire career on this one idea. Let me explain. This video isn't like other game development video logs you've seen on YouTube. That's because I'm not making a game, I'm building a piece of software. I've had this concept floating in my head for ages now, and I'm finally bringing it to life. The only thing I could imagine myself programming right now is this, and therefore my goal is to develop this full time. And if this doesn't work out, I'll use my backup plan to become a gardener. Without further ado, the software I'm developing is called Saket Studio. It's a holistic, collaborative, data-oriented creative software. Now, I know that's a lot of buzzwords. I have a grand vision of what I want this software to be, but right now I'm still figuring out the details and what exactly I want to create. Let me show you what I have so far while explaining these buzzwords in a little more detail. Saket Studio is a software for creatives. I want to empower people who do any kind of multimedia work, especially game development. Even with the advent of AI, I still believe that manual editing is valuable for creatives. Games are such massive pieces of art and requires tons of different disciplines to come together to create one cohesive experience. As you may know, it's very difficult, and I want to make that process easier and more fun. What you see right now is me testing the software for the first time. In this alpha version you can draw pixel art. I decided to start with pixel art because I need pixel art for my own games, and I also thought it would be easy to make. Spoiler alert, I was wrong. However, now I'm aiming to create a full functional pixel art editor as the first, with more to come in the future. Data-oriented is a way of thinking while developing software. By recognizing that everything on the computer is data, the development priorities and choices will look very different. First of all, I'm a believer in owning one's data. Everything is data. Your images, your text, your 3D models. When you're hired as a level designer, what has value for the company is the data of the level. In other words, the position of the objects in relation to each other. Data is value. If somebody else controls your data, they will control your value. That is bad, especially if you care about what you create. Owning your data is about the ability to take your data with you. That means two things: having access to your data and knowing which format your data is, so you can transfer it and transform it. That means that cloud-only platforms with hidden, non-exportable data are a no-go. That also means that the only way to go is with open-source data formats. This is crucial to have, especially if your living is dependent upon your work. So back to my program. Here you can see the thing I was editing was actually just a PNG file that can be opened in any other program. This is a simple case of open source, but I wish to extend this philosophy to the rest of the software. With the huge interdisciplinary teams in movies and games, collaboration becomes an ever-increasing bottleneck. I wish to offer real-time multi-editing to users. What I didn't show you before is that the whole thing is multiplayer. You can simply open up another instance of the program on a different computer, or in this case the same, and edit together seamlessly. This is for obvious reasons very powerful. Previously, each department in a studio is using a different file format and collaborating asynchronously through Slack, email and pull requests. This becomes increasingly inefficient with scale. With synchronous editing and version control, merging and conflicts will be a thing of the past. When everything is real-time, nothing has to be merged, because everything is always synchronized. With set interdisciplinary teams, the work and data often gets fragmented. Everything is made separately and has to be coupled together through various softwares and processes. I imagine a software that is cohesive and that can enable complex mediums like games, video and architecture. And with that approach, offer never before seen end-to-end optimizations for users. If any of this sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. Right now the program is super basic. It's barely a pixel art editor, no fancy features, and there are still breaking bugs in this alpha. I ran into some myself testing for this video. If you wish to try this alpha, please don't open the files that you haven't backed up, since there's a chance it will corrupt your data. In actuality, software development is very hard. Hello, my name is Soren. My goal is to develop this idea into a fully fledged program. With your support, I can work on this full time. If you want to support me as an independent software developer, consider becoming a member on Ko-Fi. As a supporter, in addition to other perks, you'll be able to access the alpha, which you just saw. If you just want to follow along in the journey more closely, you can do so on Discord. Links to support and join the alpha test are in the description below. Thanks for following along. Until next time, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.